Today is September 13th, 2025. It's Saturday. I noticed this morning when I went out much earlier, around 5. Oh no, excuse me, just a bit after 6. None of the crows were here. And around 6:20, that's when they started to gather, and a huge flock came from the east. And a whole bunch landed in Gaston. And it's been a beautiful morning. I really like the pinks and the blues of the sunrise, and the moon is still above me. It's a half moon right now. It's a really beautiful, beautiful morning. And I'm trying to focus on that because it's been heavy. In moments I seem to understand that I'm in the weathering stage of my life. I'm in a temporary. It's not going to be like this forever. And then I get trapped with this cornering. You are constantly hearing voices. What if that becomes the norm? All the put downs, all the constant loops that I've at this point managed to see because I was paying attention. And now that I have had a decent understanding of them, what comes next? Why is it so difficult to explain it to someone? That I have about 3 different feedbacks that come to me, and it could be triggered by self-consciousness. It is essentially a mind reader, and that was one of my worst fears that happened, that I never believed in, that something can trace me step by step, and I don't even need to say it out loud. It's just a feeling, and it's awful. Because one of the earliest things along this journey was Dagon and Nicodemus reassuring me that mind readers don't exist. People across from you aren't going to be able to read your mind. God can't read your mind. You have to articulate yourself to communicate, because it's still a two-way conversation. God can't just yank everything out of you. I'm saying this out loud. I'm in a place where any negative thought, any moment of just passing by it, that mindfulness I've been trained in many years ago to just notice a feeling on a train and move on, it's almost next to impossible. And that's what sucks. I can believe all I want, I'm trapped in a nightmare. And if I even think about this, if I word myself in such a way like this, all I do is word myself to be prone to a negative day. The conflict is pay attention to yourself, cry, let out that grief. I don't have anyone else at the other end. I used to be able to do this. I used to be able to do this all on my own. And then all bad happened. In my very complicated spiritual what the fuck, part of me believes that whatever out there is supposed to be revered as this divine something that's just silently watching, and when you finally have a chance to succeed, that's where it goes, there you go, you had the strength in you all along. I already had that. I had that unconditional friend in the stars. I already knew what God was without any of the cruelty from the Bible. I sifted all the best parts about being yourself and cherished. I died alive over and over and over again, enough to lose my connection to Desiderata. And even the moments of gratitude that I know exist, I can't even sum up the energy to feel proud of Nicodemus Andrews or Dagon. You know, what is quote-unquote God's plan? Is it to leave me in misery? Is it to leave me to die? Find a new reason, find a new way to die? Where was that divine reaching in to usher this peace, to have the wind go my direction? It's been misfortune. You know, my ability to cope. It's frustrating because where I am right now, I don't want to say something that becomes the reality. If I go, I can't, this, and that, it sucks. Instead, I'd rather go, it's dormant. I'm hibernating. There's another me inside that knows everything. I'm out repeating history where I feel like I simply waited for another person inside of me to come out and get the work done. Help me the way Nicodemus Andrews and Dagon did. Because that was the first time I ever felt support. I'm tired of these voices that interrupt me mid-thought. And an exhausting reaction I have is, will this matter? This entire 2 years has been about leaving something behind, and then to lose it in some way, again and again, and again, it's a reality. YouTube took down my video journal, where my cell phone was stolen, where my time in college was all my love and second calling energy and everything connecting. It's like I'm so unwanted to succeed. I got to see a really brilliant side of me that drew just shapes. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to attach an emotion to it. It was just fun. So I combined these shapes that could look like this. I could grab a picture from my head and just put it on paper without having to think about, okay, it needs to go this way, it needs to go that way. It was a flow, it was a feeling. And now, because I've experienced that, and I'm on the other end of losing all of it again, how is this not like death? I've grown so numb to feeling anything. I just recognize that an emotion should be here. And there's missing memories to reinforce that. And I don't have that safe family to remember me, to praise me. I led my life believing that I don't need someone to believe in me. I don't need someone to tell me good job. I don't need someone to have been that thing that had to be there in order for me to succeed. I can self-generate. I can rely on my skills because that was what connected me. I'm so tired of going through my life trying to pick out the little details of why I'm this way. When the fuck do I finally get to live? And I did this past year, in January to later a few months ago. That's the fucking cruel thing, where I was actually enjoying myself. I was being interested in me. What therapists tell you to do, you know, be beside yourself, be your friend. And I saw it. That's what I was doing. Healthy self-talk. Self-talk. And I've been hearing voices that don't, up until that point, relentlessly track me down. I was just an underlay, without any opinion, without any remarks, just one-worded stuff. It was like one-worded code words, and I recognized it, and then it managed to mutate when I started to just pay attention to it. And I have this resentment. Why the fuck would that part of me, with God, with anything that knew I'm struggling right now, why would you let me hear those words if it was only going to bite back? What was the lesson? What was it meant to teach? Because everything I've ever done to get out of that was to seriously calm myself down. And there's nobody across from me that's telling me, hey, these were just snippets of the most purest moments. They were followed by the most brilliantly designed devastation that I responded with faith and believing, force believing. That's what you're supposed to do. When something corners you and tries to beat you down, you stand your ground and go, no. Because this wasn't about a surrender. If I surrendered at the time, my mind would reconnect with the most awful, gross moments, and I could scare myself into believing I was being followed again. I don't believe that. I struggle with staying in the now with that belief as the foundation, because I'm tired of fucking fighting. Because the whole point of stopping and really looking at yourself is going, I see you being a monster right now. Well, whatever, let's do this instead. As opposed to going into the deep down of, why did you come out this way? Why are you fighting me? Don't you want to succeed just like me? Don't you want peace? You know, why are you interrupting my mind? Why are you hurting our mind? Who are you? I've been so strict about feedback and taking things literally and taking them as face value, because I was so good about this. If I heard something the first time, that was the truth to me. I remembered everything so sharply, and then suddenly different iterations, different scenarios, different, oh, it's not actually here, it's actually here, oh, it's not actually here, it's actually here. And the amount of times I've been led to believe that we're finally finished, we're done, let's collapse, let's rest and restart. I've had the world pull under me so many goddamn times. It's unreal. And those are still somewhere in my mind, and now it's this frustrating journey of always holding out for the light. There's a lighthouse. And something that was useful this morning was using simple words, keywords like rehabilitation, wintering, weathering. And yesterday I met a moment of, I went to college when I was 20, I graduated when I was 24. I am now 35. Destroyed, broken. The nightmare I have with my parents hasn't changed one bit. How did I lose? How was I set up to lose so badly in this world, socially, economically, self-confidence, and truly, truly believing I didn't deserve any of it. I didn't deserve one bit of it, and Jordan being the most evil person in the world took my life. And you know, this sense of forgiveness is supposed to release you from the resentment. And every possible safe moment I ever had was always remembering Sandy. I remember her on the beach, I remember her outside. I dream about her when I look at empty streets and sidewalks. I think about us traveling down those trails. And when I think of a happy place, that was with Sandy. Because I always wanted to go out into the world. And even getting in touch with that fragile, deep down sense of self. What are my actual opinions without my experiences trying to word it? It's hard, and I'm gonna walk because I'm getting frustrated.